Part of what you learn in an environment like this startup is that you actually can learn a lot quicker by doing all the things and getting your feet wet in different areas. Yeah, so I work at a company called Glue. We're about 150 people or so in Boulder, Colorado, really looking to equip organizations and people that help others with technology. And so I've held different hats here, and right now really I'm leading our training team and then a research effort. I also end up doing a lot of traveling for research and a lot of remote work. And so I like the flexibility that I'm not dependent on a desk and files and everything being in one place, but I'm able to move around and do a lot of different things. A tech startup, that phase in a company's life is really unique. You don't necessarily know if your idea works. And so a lot's changing, and it's changing really rapidly. And there's both the anxiety and the opportunity around something new. And so there's some excitement around that, but it's also it's a new frame of mind. It's a different viewpoint than thinking that you've got something already established. I'm a pretty introverted guy, and high school is a meaningful time for me to see that my peers respected me in that way. And so that some components of myself as a good listener and a compassionate person and a person that knew how to really come alongside others in hard things, that there was a place for that, and that was called leadership. In college, I got a degree in communications and theology. I thought I was going to be a pastor. Actually, my first job out of college was supporting people living with AIDS and around death and dying. My professional transition, though, was really about saying, maybe I don't necessarily need to do the work, do the things to help people, but could be part of organizations that really equip others to do good work. And so that's really how Glue fits into that. In my specific role, the main trait I'm looking for is I need people to listen. How do you go in and research and really understand what somebody is trying to tell you? And then I think as a company in general, we're really looking for people who have a roll up your sleeves and participate where you can way of thinking. The hardest person for this type of environment is someone that needs to be told what to do. So I think I'd be looking, if you're wanting to get into the tech startup space, about how can you hone some of your strategic skills. And what I mean by that is how do you think in a way that has really open doors, right? Rather than very linear or sequential or what has tried and true and always been done. We need thinkers that are able to think outside the box. Student council and student leadership really taught me how to be a good human. At the most essential piece, I think that has related to what I'm talking about in listening skills, that I know what it means to just really learn to sit in someone else's shoes, understand where they're headed, and make sure that I'm not filtering that through my own lens and through my own experience. There's an ability that I learned in leadership that was about how do you sort of take off your blinders or your viewpoint and allow the others to come forward. A core part of leadership is not just how do I show up and be attentive and responsive and compassionate, but there's a piece that really is about how do you take your ideas and move them forward, how do you deal with conflict, how do you convince somebody or inspire somebody and know based on their personality what of it they really need. I love thinking about a startup mentality with your life. We actually don't know who we're going to become. Part of what you learn in an environment like this startup is that you actually can learn a lot quicker by doing all the things and getting your feet wet in different areas and letting that determine where you're headed rather than thinking that you need to have it all established before you go. So I absolutely try to live my life in that way, where you sort of have curiosities and you follow those a little bit and see if a door closes or if you learn something new, and you pivot or you move or you change off that curiosity rather than thinking you need to have the entire plan laid out to follow.